Okay. So we're going to jump right into the presentation now. The topic I'm going to be talking about is building and maintaining G.E.S academic and non-academic program for your school. I like my sessions being interactive, so I wouldn't know if anybody would like to tell me what he or she understands by the acronym G.E.S. What do you think that means? Anyone? If nobody talks, that might be the end of my presentation because I really like to hear you. So what does that mean, G.E.S?
The silence means you don't know me.
No, I wouldn't take that. You can call it G for goat, E for egg, S for snake, but I would like someone to actually talk to me. Anyone?
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Global Education Summit.
I'll give you 1/3. So well done. Good job. Any other attempts?
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening. The G is actually global. So we're now looking out for the full meaning of ES.
Global Experience Specialist.
A nice attempt. I'm afraid to say you got 0/2.
Pardon?
I said, I'm afraid to say you got 0/2.
How?
Yes. It's not what you said, but I'll still give you 100% for talking. Thank you.
Thank you.
A last attempt, please.
Okay, can I give it a try?
Please do.
Gifted education support.
Not quite. Not
Okay.
quite. Okay, so let's just go on. Thanks to all of you.
How about global excellence in stature?
Not quite, but very close. Thank you. So let's just go on. So the GES actually stands for global, effective, and sustainable. Yes. So building and maintaining global, effective, and sustainable academic and non-academic program for your school. I believe I've been introduced already. I'm Mrs. Bukola Pasheda from Nigeria, the deputy head of school of Broad Oaks. The school is in Abuja. If you're very familiar with Nigeria, Maitama, Abuja. So let's go on. What is the objective for this session? So by the end of this session, just a minute. So by the end of this session, everyone should understand the key components of a global, effective, and sustainable, as well as enriching school. So the three words we were trying to define earlier, they make up the ingredient of an enriching school program. Then secondly, we should be able to, I'm going to be discussing real life examples of successful school program with us at some point. So what makes an enriching school program? I've said it earlier. Your curriculum is global. So you are not just thinking about your immediate local environment, because I believe before setting up any school in this 21st century, the owner of the school, the educators there, the school leaders, they must have at the back of their minds that desire to create global citizens, to create efficient citizens, to also create learners who are independent. They can survive on their own. So how do we deliver all this? By ingraining all of this ingredient into our school program. So we're going to be looking at 4 key areas that would help us to deliver that holistic education. So the first area I would look at would be the cognitive development of our students. So if we really desire to develop those global citizens, we must be intentional the way we cater to their cognition. Then secondly, we must also cater to how we design instruction, develop curriculum to cater to their emotions, which comes under affective development. The second one is the kinesthetic development. So how do we plan curriculum that would cater also to motion, hands-on projects, and so on? Then finally, I tell people that gone are the days when people were illiterate. Few people going to school. But if you go to South Africa now, go to Kenya, go to Nigeria, more and more people are educated. So you would want to see that translate into the development of Africa. But where are we? A little bit behind. So at the core of whatever program we're planning, nation building, national development must just be very, very pertinent. So even when I'm teaching my noun, I'm teaching my physics in the classroom, I must find a way to tie it to what? National development, until every educator in Africa, until every educator in America, until every educator in other parts of the world is aware of that particular criterion, we might not be where we should be in the world. Look at China. It's not just about the content anymore. It is every single thing the kids are doing tied to national development. I can remember a particular documentary I saw. Was it on National Geographic? I actually saw a picture drawn during an art lesson in the kindergarten section of a particular school, developed by engineers into a real aircraft. So the documentary took us through that classwork, handing over to technicians, engineers, and they developed that. But what is obtainable in Africa? Lovely pictures, lovely projects, lovely PhD thesis. And after 2 or 3 years, where do you find them? In the dustbin. In the dustbin. So until all educators, even the government, we all realize that education should contribute to national development, we're going nowhere. So let's go on. So what are the key components of an enriching school program? I'm going to dwell on 6 in a jiffy. The first one being management structure, a solid school improvement plan. Especially in Africa, you see liters of school everywhere. Whereas the management, the structure, improvement plan, not in place. So more or less, people are just waking up, going to this structure called the school, and there's no structure around it. So for us to build that global, effective, as well as sustainable school program, we must think about solid management, solid structure, as well as solid school improvement plan. The second one is strong academic curriculum. That also must be well defined. What are you trying to achieve as a school? I always tell colleagues, when it comes to academic, there are 3 key areas. So the first would be, what would be your content? What would be your content? You can actually find the content, scheme of work, curriculum map, all of that on the internet. But as a school, planning to be global, as a school, planning to be effective, as a school, planning to be sustainable, have you ever thought of curriculum delivery? So as far as I am concerned, curriculum delivery is as important as curriculum content. There are many fantastic physics teachers, chemistry teachers out there, but just enter the classroom while you see students bored to death. So for us to build that sustainable, global, effective, strong academic curriculum, I always tell my colleagues at work, when I come into your lesson, I'm not just looking at your content. The first thing I'm looking at is engagement. Are you able to engage every single child in your space? That is a serious skill that every teacher should possess. So are you able to engage every learner in your care? Are you able to differentiate? Is every child making progress? Are they having fun? Who is in charge of this lesson? The student or the teacher? The teacher is talking time. I'm also looking at varied activities. I wouldn't know if anyone of us has gone for a lesson observation before, and there is this activity for 45 minutes, and the teacher just keeps going on and on the same activity. And you're looking at the faces of all the students, bored to death, desperately crying for help, but there's nothing you can do than just to observe and make your notes and give feedback afterwards. So for us to build that global, effective, as well as sustainable school program, academic program, engagement, progress, differentiation, effective questioning, we can't overemphasize effective questioning. And if there is any curriculum delivery strategy that I feel we're not really playing with or engaging with enough, that would be effective questioning. Sincerely, colleagues, effective questioning can turn a docile class to a beehive of activities in just minutes. Are you just asking lower other questions, higher other questions? Are you bouncing your questions? A child answers a question, the teacher just goes, well done, correct. And learning just ends there. But we could do that differently. So let me just go on so that I don't just keep going on about that. But intentionally emphasize that, because for me, that is the core of any school program you might want to run. So the third one would be engaging extracurricular activities. Most schools feel it's just academics. We're getting all nice, all A-star in GCSE. So, but we all know when it's time for our students to go for A levels, go for IB, most global schools would demand for extracurricular activities, enrichment activities. What other things are you bringing to the table as a potential student of our school, aside from NINES? So for us as educators, as school leaders, we must just be intentional about ingraining this into our curriculum. So the next one for me would be well-being. Number 5 ingredient, community and parental involvement. Very, very key. And I must just say at this point, if there is anything that could make a school die faster than anything, it is lack of involvement with parents. So aside from the desire to churn out excellent results, we must just please our parents. Don't forget, a school is okay. So a school, does anybody want to ask a question? Somebody is trying to talk. Please, let's mute our microphones. Thank you. So, like I was saying, you might be churning out excellent results, but if your parents are not satisfied with you, your school is not global. I would like us to just go on Google and research the pillars of a world-class school. And you would see as one of the strong pillars with parents. So we must also be global in our approach by intentionally planning to satisfy our parents, the community around us. So the last one would be professional development for teachers. And that is another mistake school owners are making in the contemporary world. And I keep telling them, and they keep telling me as well, if I train them, they would leave and that would be a waste of my money. No, it doesn't work that way. There are different ways we could do to still train teachers, retain them, and if they still would like to leave, they are not in prison, they would leave. It doesn't change anything. But they would have used at least an aspect of the skills acquired through the training we offered to impact the school. So we all need to change our mindsets on different levels. Okay, so when it comes to academic curriculum, which is one of the ingredients I've mentioned earlier, for our curriculum to be global, like I said, curriculum can't just be accidental. There are questions we need to ask ourselves, and there are key areas a global, effective, and sustainable curriculum should cater to. So like I said earlier, what to be learned should be at the core of every curriculum, the content. And this must align to the national curriculum. So whatever is done in Nigeria, whatever the Nigerian government has suggested, whatever the South African country has suggested for a child to have learned by year 7, grade 7, that must be taken into consideration. If you are running the British curriculum, your curriculum should also align with the British curriculum, the American curriculum. So what is there to be learned? That is at the core. The second one would be how that content would be learned. I've mentioned it earlier, and that speaks to what? Curriculum delivery. So global, effective, sustainable school program must be fun, must be empowering. Thank God for the contemporary world where there is a shift between, okay, it's nice to carve a niche for yourself. I'm good at this. You know, I want to be a doctor. In the past, that is all you get to be in your lifetime. You're just a doctor for 70 years, for 80 years, for 90 years. But in the contemporary world, the narrative is changing. You see a lawyer, a nurse, doctor, a teacher, you know, it's kind of diversified out there. So we can't keep educating our contemporary students with that mindset. So anytime they're doing physics, we also need to teach the aspects of physics that would empower them, that will empower them to put food on their table in the future. You're teaching English language, you must find a way to link it to real life and give them skills that would put food on the table. I am a teacher of English language and literature. Gone are the days you're teaching English language, you're just focused on definitions, identification, vocabulary, and all that. We need to move to what? In my former school, when I was the curriculum leader, I made sure your English lesson is tied to spoken word poetry. So there might be a continuous assessment, a formative assessment across board from year 7 to year 11 in the classroom. There are competition on spoken word poetry. That would be first level. After that, we pick the best. Then we have the quarterfinals. There's a platform. We do the semifinal. We do the semifinal and the final stage. They are coming to this assembly. Face the old school. Do your spoken word poetry. And now we've got a long list of great spoken word artists in that school. Some of them have gone to schools in Canada, rugby, university, and all those, and they're still doing wonders with that skill that the curriculum has given to them. Short story writing, spelling bee, Mathpedia, artwork. So knowledge shouldn't be contained in the four walls of the classroom. Knowledge should be what? A pad, a springboard into real life. So Let's go on. So what type of learners do you want to produce in the future? Fixed mindset citizens, growth mindset citizens. Oh. There's a third one. I can't remember it now. When I remember, I'll go back to it. Are they fixed mindset student growth performance mindset? That's the third layer. I know we've all heard about, jettison your fixed mindset, embrace growth mindset. But there is another layer, performance mindset. And you would find in this world, the greatest people in this world, they are performers. From the vision board, they endure, they are consistent, they are showing up, and they get to that level of performance. So are we raising, is your curriculum designed to raise performance mindset students? Global education, efficient, effective education, sustainable education. So the next one, regarding academic curriculum, your feedback policy, intervention policy with parents, your post-16 transition. So all of these ingredients would make up your academic curriculum. So let's go on to, okay, just a minute. It seems I've gone. I'm at the right place. So engaging extracurricular activities. I've spoken about this the other time. So for us to develop that global, efficient, and sustainable academic and non-academic programs in our school, enrichment must just be balanced and broad. So we're not just catering to a section of our students. We give our students options to choose from. I know for the school owners among us, you're asking me, doesn't she know that it takes money to put together all these activities? Well, it also speaks to our creativity. So enrichment should be balanced, it should be broad, it should be tied to real life. What do I mean by that? I tell school owners when I talk to them, you can tell me forever that you do enrichment, but I want to see pictures, I want to see products. I actually want to see this product. And there could be a day where products are brought from all the enrichment groups and parents are buying for me. That is reality, because that is the real world. Not just telling us, oh, we do tie and dye, we do hairdressing, we do tailoring. Yet, no piece of evidence to support that. It also must be planned. It shouldn't be accidental. So in most schools, you just find them doing all of this. No. To build that global school, it must be planned. There must be document. There should be a structure. There should be a system around it. Otherwise, a teacher is teaching a particular enrichment. If there are no structures, when the teacher leaves, that's the end of that enrichment. So there should be structure. There should be a program, documentation around this. It should be monitored. So if you are a school owner here, when your school leaders and teachers tell you we're doing this, don't just take it hook, line, and sinker. Demand adequate monitoring, timelines, programs. So it should be showcased. I've said that earlier. It should be continuous, tied to primary school. It should start from the primary school, not just secondary school. Strategically used to support SEND, LAST, and HAS. If we don't know SEND, SEND means we all should know that anyway. Students with educational needs and disabilities, low achieving students, and higher achieving students. The higher achieving students always suffer in most schools because we feel they're doing well. But some of them are frustrated. We also need to give them avenues to shine and things to challenge them to be better. There shouldn't be any cap to any child's progress and growth in a global school. Okay, well-being. For me, everybody cares so much about the children, but a global school must also cater to staff. Happy teachers, happy students. Accomplished teachers, accomplished students. So for us to build that global school where teachers are satisfied, we must be intentional about recruitment. So it's not, okay, you employ someone without adequate recruitment procedure, and you want to send them out after 2 months. Oh, you're underperforming. For me, that is really unfair. If that teacher is unsuitable, not suitable for your school, don't employ them. Another school would employ them. But don't bring in teachers and just discard them along the line. So safer recruitment, can this person work with children? All those boxes must be ticked. So the next one for me regarding well-being, in the process of building a global, efficient, and sustainable school is positive education. So what makes a positive school? There's positive emotion among the students. There's positive relationship among students, as well as between students and teacher, school management and teachers. Everybody has a sense of meaningfulness, okay? Sense of accomplishment. And there's an acronym, right? The PEMA. So positive emotion, positive relationship, positive meaningfulness, and positive accomplishment. So if you really want to cater to the well-being of your students, please try to ingrain all of this in your school program, in your school curriculum. So it's not just about academic, it's a whole package. The second one, your school values, your culture, your vision. Those are non-negotiables. Those are non-negotiables. The next one would be proactive and reactive pastoral care. Another mistake your average African school would make is we just sit back and wait for things to happen, then we react. No. A global school program, an efficient one, and a sustainable one is proactive. If we left our students after prep without adequate lighting, what could go wrong? Then we put appropriate lighting into place, appropriate monitoring, even educating the students to also safeguard themselves. These are things that go into a global school program. I wrote regular surveys to ascertain the pulse of the students. So you're not just doing everything. Whatever you're doing in your school to be better, are they actually the desire of your clients? So you need their feedback. You need to work with them. Our reporting system, in an ideal school, there should be a safeguarding lead and also safeguarding and child protection training. That should be once every year. That is COBI's standard. One safeguarding and child protection training for all teachers, board members, school owners every single year. You can access Test Educare, Cambridge platform to get all these certifications. So I think this is the last one. Oh, sorry, the penultimate one. Also, for us to build that global, efficient, and sustainable school, we must also be very, very deliberate about our facilities, maintenance. A school is a business, so we shouldn't just allow our students to use these resources anyhow. The economy isn't laughing at anyone now, and this culture of maintenance should be tied to the school culture. So the kids are taught to be respectful of other people's property, graffiti everywhere. There's nothing that pisses me off personally. If I visited a school and, just the walls are messy, the tables are messy. And yet, who is to lead the kids in maintaining the environment? It is still the school program and the educators in that space. And I've written here, that should be built into facilities maintenance, should be built into core values, into vision, into mission, facility work to ensure our vital facilities are safe for all learners. The swimming pool area, the sport fields, the labs, the classroom doors, the windows. I personally advise school leaders at least once every week or once in 2 weeks, there should be that facility walk. You and your team members just walk around the school, or there's a wire out there, quickly cater to it. The ramp somewhere is not what it's maybe getting out of place, get it fixed. The tiles are coming off. If anybody, if a child falls off, the child could get injured. You quickly cater to it. So facility work to ensure safety of all. Then building that global academic program. Role of parents, I've spoken about this earlier, so I wouldn't dwell much on it. If you look at the picture there, you would see the teacher smiling at the parents. So this must be an open day where parents come around, check current attainment, check learning behavior, check engagement grades, and there are conversations to help the child to make progress. I've spoken about professional development for teachers as well. This is very, very important. You can't give from an empty bucket. You can only give what you have. So for us to build that global academic and non-academic program, teachers must be catered to. The other layer to this, for me, I've told teachers everywhere, you are in the contemporary world, you are responsible for your personal, professional development. Sincerely, I crafted an acronym, I call it SPD, self-professional development. There are so many educational technology, applications out there. You want to make your lesson plan, you don't have to pick your pen and paper and start writing lesson plan in the contemporary world. No, you need to cater to your well-being. You need to reduce burnout for yourself. There's Magic AI, there's AI Teacher, there's G-Mind. There are so many. You can't exhaust them. There's Chat GPT. So just put your prompt there in 5 minutes. Your lesson plan is out there. Your PowerPoint is out there. Your lesson starter is out there. The hook you want to use, everything is just there. So sincerely, this is a good era to live in as a teacher. I actually enjoy being a teacher right now because technology has made our life easy. So if we just now want to sit back and wait for the school owners and to just keep doing everything, or to send us to America, send us to Canada, send us to India, so in Nigeria, these are instances of purpose-built school. There is Day Waterman College, there is Ambassador School, Children International Schools. If you enter the school, you would see that they are purpose-built school, doing great. And I know there are so many in South Africa too. So the key takeaways I would like us to leave with: number one, an enriching school program support academic excellence and personal growth. Personal growth for teachers, for students, even for the school owners. Growth ends when you die, for me. Even I plan to live till 150 years. Somebody should say amen. Till that last moment, I will be learning. Learning is just so much fun. So the second point for me isn't just built for academics, extracurricular, and well-being. So if you would like your school to stand out, these any day, anytime. Collaboration between students and teachers, parents, and the community. We also must teach our students, our potential global citizens, to be conscious of the community. So they must give back to the community. So for you to have that enriching school, plan charity activities in your school. Tell your prefect body, tell each year group what charity program are you doing this year? Book drive, giveaway, school bag drive, all sorts of drives, just to solve what? Real problems in real life. That is education, not just definitions, paper and pencils. Finally, continuous improvement and innovation would always drive our success. Thank you so much. I'll take a few questions now before I leave. Over to you, moderator. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and listening to me so far. Thank you.
Thank you so
Moderator, are
much.
you there? Okay.
As you have said, it's time for questions. Anyone with a question, please indicate with a raise of a hand. And thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful presentation.
You're welcome, sir.
Any question can I see with a raise of a hand, please?
Any question, any clarification? Okay, moderator, I think everyone got all the points, so are you there?
Yes, I am here. I was trying to pick
Okay.
something. All right. Yes, once again, thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Learning should not be confined within the four walls of the classroom. So we should not sit and relax and wait for things to happen. We need to be leaders who are active. So thank you for that presentation. I just want to check from the director if he is ready on his side. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we should call it an end. The director is having challenges on his side with his network, so I don't think he will be able to make a presentation. Ma'am, thank you again. So everyone have a
You're
good
welcome,
night.
sir. Bye, everyone.
Bye, madam. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Bye-bye.